Hey sweet soul, welcome back to Conscious Lifestyle Coaching. My name is Raileigh Duschen. I'm an author, poet, speaker, and healer. Today's message is discussing the spirit behind our codependencies with alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine. So if you're not ready to hear this message, then this message is not for you, and that's okay. And again, these messages discussing freedom from addictions, and this will be a series, so I'll cover other addictions, right? It's not just drugs. You can be addicted to sex and even grief and sadness. There's so many things we can become addicted to, and none of us human beings on this earth are free from that. It's a very unique being if you have been able to abstain from any type of dependency, but again, we're all human and it's natural that we find things we become dependent on. Sometimes we get addicted to computers. Sometimes y'all get addicted to messages like this, right? I've been there. Now let's discuss specifically alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine today. Now, when I speak on anything, I'm coming from a place of wisdom, and so I've experienced it in some way. I've freed myself from it in some way. And if I was speaking on things I do not know, then I'm speaking from a place of judgment. And I do not believe it is our job to judge any human. It is not our responsibility. That is God, the universe, the divine's job to judge us, right? But while we're here on this earth, we have free will to make choices and to explore divinity, to explore God, to explore love and joy and freedom and adventure. And so let me start with alcohol dependency. Now, I've never personally been addicted to alcohol, but I have sat in the environment in the space of alcoholism enough to speak from a place of perception in that way. And of course, I have used alcohol to a point where I have personally blacked out, right? I went to Florida State University. It was very normal. It was very much a part of the culture, the atmosphere, to heavily drink to the point of perhaps intoxication where you're not in control of your body anymore, that you might possibly kill yourself. And so I speak from a place of that knowing, from alcoholism within my family. I speak from somebody also who might be judged for being weird, right? So when we drink and consume alcohol at the level of we can't be in control of our body anymore, that our brain, our mind cannot be in control of our own will anymore, we have totally given our sense of authority and control and authenticity away to a chemical, to a substance. But again, this chemical, this spirit has been in human experience for so long, it seems so normal. It seems safe, but again, the enemy is the great deceiver. And so we embark on the adventure of what this spirit can bring us. But again, if we toy in realms that are harmful to us too long, it becomes extremely dangerous. Now, I'm speaking from a place of opinion, and you might think I'm speaking from a place of channeling. That's a whole other video I want to talk about people who channel and then say that they are embodied by another spirit. And I believe it can become an escapism, a way to avoid responsibility sometimes for also being human. And I have known enough people who have been in the spiritual community for decades upon decades upon decades who will say they have met channelers in person and they were not authentic to the messages they share. So I'm never going to tell you I'm channeling angels or God or entities that are not living within me. I am just me. And again, back to alcohol. I went on that tangent to say that alcohol is this avoidance of our true self. It is an escape from authenticity, perhaps because we have not learned or been conditioned or supported on the journey of loving who we really are. Maybe, such as the college students, have not had enough time to even know who they really are. And so alcohol is a way to explore without inhibition, perceivably, this false shield of judgment. And so we can blame it on the alcohol, right? And so you can't judge me if I've been drunk. The dangerous part is if we travel on that road for too long, we lose our entire identity, our sense of self. We lose the cord connection of love within self, because it is perceivably too painful to sit in the body and to be with the body and the true soul. Because we have a fear, which is an illusion, that who we really are is not loved, not supported by our families, our communities, our society. And so we diminish our spirit and replace it with a spirit that is seemingly more acceptable. Now, many people struggle with this, whether they're drinking alcohol or not. They struggle with accepting who they really are. It has historically been unsafe to be one's true self. Again, I'm talking about truth in soul and spirit, rooted in love, in God, in the divine. I'm not speaking love as an excuse to do evil things, harmful things that do not thrive the spirit of everybody. And so collectively, whether we are dependent on alcohol or not, that is the spirit we are fighting. This spirit that says you cannot be who you are. It is unsafe to be who you are. You will not be accepted for who you are. And we have to realize and come connect with, again, our truth, our soul, and accept and love all that we find in there. Without judgment of, again, the ick that lives within us, because we're all here as humans in this earth school to purge and cleanse and release and detox from negative human emotions, negative behaviors, disconnection. Right? We're all on different levels and dimensions of what that soul journey and healing looks like, but we're all healing. And there's all things we need to take accountability for. And if we further run from accountability, again, from accepting who we really are, or accepting that we're here on this earth, we further spiral into this void, this hole we can't climb out of, and it becomes increasingly hard. Because the more we drink something to replace truth and authenticity, the further disconnected we become from that truth, and it's going to take a longer amount of time to remember, to reclaim, and take that power back, that empowerment to live in truth. And again, all these dependencies I'm going to speak on today are rooted in this need for community, this need for help, this need to be seen, this global collective need for compassion, peace, patience, understanding. So for somebody who struggles with alcohol addiction, or you know somebody, encourage them when they are in a sober mind, that they are loved, that you see them, that the unique things about them you honor, you respect. In fact, you find enormous value in them. Remind people of that. Even if you don't know somebody is addicted to alcohol, always speak love in life, right? I always speak about the power of prayer, whether you are religious or not. We need more kindness in the world and more compassion. So I'm speaking on these three chemicals today, really just to point windows and portals of humanity right now, that whether you are addicted to anything or not, you can join in this collective mission of global and collective healing, right? Because as I remind myself and all of you, the suffering of someone else, the battles they face, what they're healing from is not a separate journey from our own. Either we have been there at some point, we might be in the future, or we know someone we love who is there now. We're all so connected. Okay, marijuana addiction. Yes, I do believe you can be addicted to marijuana. I believe marijuana is a sacred medicine that our ancestors have used for a very long time. It is encoded in our DNA, in our bodies, to receive that medicine, absolutely. And I believe we can all stand in agreement here on this conscious path that the sacredness of the medicine of marijuana has been exploited and abused and used, just as much as the medicine makers, the cultivators, the protectors of this medicine have also been used and exploited and abused. And so I believe this medicine of marijuana helps us to accept difficult things. I believe marijuana brings us from the vibration of grief into acceptance. I believe it really is a heart medicine, a medicine that can connect people, bring community together, and to sit in, again, this genuine acceptance. So I'm speaking of marijuana as a higher vibration than alcohol, yes. But if we are using marijuana, then we're also sharing publicly that we are in need of healing, or you're taking time to be present with your own body in private and saying, I need some healing to accept things that have been very difficult for me. I have been grieving, perhaps I'm angry about life. And the spirit of marijuana can help you, again, accept these things to ground you in this earth that is a very earthly medicine. And marijuana is massively, globally accepted. In some cultures, it is a part of spirituality. It's a very important tool, a medium of connection between the human body and the divine. Absolutely. For some people, the medicine of marijuana might be something they use every day for the rest of their life. And if that's you, that's okay. Again, coming from a place of non-judgment here. So if anyone who's listening and doesn't understand why someone may smoke marijuana, now you know. It is a reclaiming of grief, the violence the human body has endured, the violence the mind is still experiencing, and the spirit of marijuana uplifts from a very violent, grief-worthy place. Now, for some people who have not had to grieve at that extent, they don't need the marijuana. They don't need the chemical of THC in their bodies. In fact, you might resist it if you take it and you're not grieving. You might not want to use it. Perhaps you may have experienced that if you smoke marijuana and you're not in a place of needing to accept things, it brings your vibration down. Now, there's different dimensions to this, right? Some people need to be brought down. Some people are swimming too high in the ether. They're perhaps trying to accept death. And so they need the spirit of marijuana to help them accept that transition, this death, this grief. Now, death can mean many different things. Death can mean the actual act of transitioning out of this body into spirit, a death of ego, a spiritual awakening, a significant change in life. Marijuana helps carry people through significant hardship. And again, people who are not in that place, if you are in a genuine place of peace within, of joy, of enlightenment, you do not need the spirit of marijuana. For some people, we go on spiritual sabbaticals where we detox and cleanse from all substances, including marijuana. And it's not to say marijuana is not regarded as a sacred healing medicine. It is and can be and should be used as. And just saying, I'm here and I'm ready to live in the true vibration of what joy is, enlightenment is. But for someone to receive joy in complete sobriety, that is someone who has traveled through deep suffering, deep grief, acceptance. That joy is fleeting on purpose. We're not always swimming so high with God. We're here to be human, right? And so we experience hard things. It comes in waves, and nothing we can truly not withstand. And so if you're in that place of sabbatical, of study, of enlightenment, receiving joy, that is okay. Now, if you're not in that place, do not be jealous of someone who is in that place. Because again, you don't see what they've traveled through to get there. So there truly is nothing to be jealous of in another human being ever. Nicotine. If you are highly addicted to nicotine, you are someone who is in need of deep rest, deep peace. You've been working so hard, fighting. You are resilient. You are a warrior. And so in order to keep up and sustain this fight in your spirit that you have, you use the spirit of nicotine to help you to remain as this soldier that you are. But again, God, the divine source, spirit, does not ask us always to be in this fight, to be a warrior. Warriors need rest, fighters need to rest so they can come back stronger than before. And so someone who is using the spirit of nicotine, that is someone who is again fighting through the need to rest or to be in peace. Perhaps they do not believe it is safe to rest. They are allowed to rest. Bad things will happen if they rest and sit with the self, with the God within. And so if you're trying to release yourself from the addiction of nicotine, you're just gonna have to sleep more, rest more, be in peace, meditate. And it's not gonna happen overnight. It might not happen in a few days. It might not even happen in a few months. It might not even happen in a few years, depending how long you have been fighting. And I do believe it is possible, extremely possible, to heal from the addiction of nicotine. Again, if you are addicted to nicotine, you have to create a life that allows you to rest. Because the spirit of nicotine allows you to see where you're going on this path of fighting. Nicotine allows you to hear your body, right? To hear the tiredness in the body. To hear and see in the skin the body being worn down by life. And so someone who's afraid to quit nicotine, to stop smoking, is someone who fears and doesn't truly believe they are worthy, they're capable or deserving of deep rest, of peace, of a lifestyle that is more gentle and nourishing. And sometimes the toxicity and the drama of fighting for life becomes addictive in itself. Some people enjoy that. But again, God wants us to love this body, right? It is ultimately God, the divine, who is going to order what we do with this body, how we use our life. So when we ignore the high love and power, the ordinances by God on our life, and we fight that spirit of peace, again, we lead ourselves on this path of destruction until we can't take it anymore, or we lose that battle. And sometimes it's just out of boredom. You have not, again, fully remembered your sacred purpose, or not listening to what God is telling you to do, and God is speaking to us in every moment of every day. There's something good to be done, a sacred purpose to be held, and you are that. And it is only rest in meditation and prayer in which you can hear that voice. I also believe tobacco is a sacred medicine that has been used by our ancestors, especially spiritual healers, shamans. Those healers, and all of our bloodlines have them, are the ones who would hear from God and speak God and fight in the dimensions that other people can't access, perhaps because they've been inebriated by alcohol, and for some reason they can't fight for themselves. They're in need of help. So the shamans go into the spirit world and they pray and they meditate a lot. Like, that is all they do. And the nicotine, the tobacco, helped ground them back into the body. And to block the spirits of other people that they no longer have to fight anymore. And to fight for themselves to be here. Again, it's about remembering that we're all sacred healers. So we can always free ourselves from addiction. We can use the medicines the earth has given us, for sure. But being a healer is, you become aware and you have the strength to let go of the medicines when they're no longer serving us. The ability to discern when is it time to let the medicines go. Again, it is an intimate journey between you and God. I'm not here to judge you or anyone or even myself. And speaking from a sense of wisdom, a storytelling of things, vibrations we can connect on this purpose, on this path of healing, self-development, and spirituality, which is why I have built this platform. So if I could be of service to you on your journey, if anything I spoke on resonated with you, and you believe that I can provide some support and empowerment to you, please reach out to me. We'll find out. Again, if you've applied for Life Purpose Actualization, I have a 45-minute call with you. And then we ask questions. This is not by force. Feel free to enjoy this content. But don't become addicted to this content, okay? You are allowed, you are responsible for receiving help, support, and community. So find where that is. Find who they are. You should not be walking alone. You do not have to do any of this alone. None of this human experience. Oftentimes we feel alone because of our shame, our guilt, our fear, our anxiety. It traps us. But it is time to free ourselves from this isolation, from this spirit of judgment. There's no more. Thank you so much for listening. I really pray that this message gives you peace, freedom to believe in yourself. You are not alone. I am not alone. I am not alone. I am not alone. We're really not. We're all here journeying through this together. Even if it appears someone else is on a higher path or vibration than you, remember, the human journey is multidimensional. But we do receive messengers, and help. There are people who are praying to be of service to you. I'm one of those people. So again, please let me know if I could support you. Thank you to all those who have been purchasing the books. Phoenix Medicines, A Transformative Journey Through Consciousness is a great place to start. I would like to know if I'm someone that you should be working with. And of course, the Medicine Garden, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Come get to know other people from around the world who are journeying with you on this same mission. It is a sacred place. I make sure that that space will continue to be sacred. And please email me to RSVP. And this is my final reminder for this month. The Step Fully In theme for this month's Ascension Seminar, or as I also like to call Sacred Reminders, is a virtual discourse. And I welcome you to come join me. Sunday, November 17th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is totally free. You can register, the link will be below. And I hope to see you there. Come in, get ready to have conversation, to learn together, to grow together. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to the next message where we can connect heart to heart, soul to soul. And I appreciate you. I see you. Peace and love to you on your path. I'll talk to you soon.